Okay guys, so we're going to do our recap of today's trades. Today we traded 4 stocks: PRCP, CVV, CLEU, and EQ. So today we're up a total of $57. It's kind of unfortunate. We took, of course, 4 trades, up $100 on one, lost 78 on the other, then another 450 on the other, and made 40 on the last one. This one, this $78 loser was kind of an impulsive trade, and that's usually the ones that cost me money. I know this, but I continue to do it. So we'll jump into the 5-minute chart. This is the one that we're watching pre-market. So it was trading around $3 pre-market. It hit a high of 774 and it pulled back down to VWAP, broke VWAP, and this was a potential entry for a bull flag on the 5-minute chart. We'll jump into the 1-minute chart so we can look at the trades that we took, or that I took. This was done pre-market with the high of 774. It pulled back on this hard flush. I jumped in. It hit a low of 650. 649. I jumped in here around 650 because I figured it was support, which I timed it pretty well. Bought in at 650, sold up here around 675. Well, actually, the best exit was right under $7. Sold about half the position up here, right under 7, and then sold another half around 680, and then the remaining amount around 675. So that was a $100 trade right there, with only 325 shares. And so we'll jump into the next trade. The next trade was down here. It was on this setup for another dip buy. It hit a high of 611. It flushed down. I jumped in here around 550 again for the $half support. Sold up here around 570 and for a nice 20 cents of profit, and then the remaining amount break even back at 550. So that was a pretty solid trade. Would have wanted this to continue to go higher. Break of 611 for a move higher. A break of VWAP actually. That was a setup, original setup. And let's see if we took any more trades on this stock. Nope, that was it on that one. The next stock that we traded was CVV. This was the one that we traded impulsively. So pre-market, we weren't really watching it. Pre-market, it hit a high of $4, and it kind of just pulled back here. It started kind of moving up. It ended up halting, going up with a little bit lighter volume. So, but we were watching it, and since we had other stocks that were failing, I figured that this one might pick up the attention just because the other ones are failing, not really looking that attractive. So I decided to jump in here for the $half break of 450 out of the halt. So it resumed from the halt, resumed at 448, and as soon as I saw that, I jumped in. As soon as I saw green volume buying on the time and sales, I jumped in 450. It hit a high of 470, of course, but this wasn't really clean. I mean, it just quickly popped up there and then it just immediately dropped down. It was very hard. I didn't even try to put out order to fill up here because it was like a millisecond. It moved that fast, and then right away I was like, okay, well, this is not doing what I wanted to do, so I need to start unwinding the position. So I got out part of my position at 430 because I knew I just didn't think it was gonna recover. It hit a low of 409. I could have done a dip buy, but I decided not to because I just didn't want to make the loss any bigger. So I sold half my position at 430, and then the remaining amount down here around 420. And it was good that I sold at 420 because right after that, by reading the level 2, I could see that it was gonna fail pretty hard, and it did. It broke this support of 409, and it flushed all the way down to 385, halted going down, and it continued to go lower. So it's a good thing that I traded the level 2 and just got out where I got out. Really, a good point to get out would have been at 430, because that's really where it resumed, actually where it halted before. So that was a level to watch, psychological level. But I decided to hold it a little bit longer. I felt like I managed the loss pretty well though, considering the drop from 470 all the way down to 380. Whole dollar, almost a whole dollar per share. The next stock was CLEU. This was traded, let's see, we got in this one. This one we got in right before the halt. Of course, got in way too high. I got in with small share size, so that was okay. So it was pretty extended from 470 up to 530, halted going up 531. I got in here super extended, very risky. So I'm up. I mean, I got in 30 cents higher than what I should have got in at, and so it resumed at 540. It struggled to get past this level. There was a lot of sellers, a lot of buying, but it did not get past that level. It hit a high of 565. I sold up here around 560, sold half of my position, waiting for the move higher. That did not happen. The next, I should have sold the rest at 531. This was support down here. It ended up flushing all the way down to 486, and I sold down here around 490. It halted going down. It resumed lower. Of course, this one came back up, but could have easily just continued to go lower. So this was very similar to the other stock that we just looked at, CVV. So that might be the new trend now, where it'll resume from the halt, spike up for momentarily, and then just flush down. So that's something to keep an eye on for the next few days, upcoming days. So the next stock, the last stock that we traded was EQ. We'll take a look at this one. Let's see. This one, okay, yeah, this one was out of the gates. Of course, out of the gates, we can see that this was a level up here at 2140. I felt that this was, since we had WEME or EQ, I can't recall which one it was, but yesterday it had failed, or the day before yesterday it had failed out of the gates. So that's kind of what I was watching on this one, and it did. You know, one level to watch would have been 1925 for a squeeze higher, and but I was like, okay, well, I've got a feeling that this one's gonna flush, so I did not jump in out of the gate. I waited for the flush. It hit a low of 1767 on the it. Whenever it flushed, I jumped in here around 1850, $half support. Sold up here right under $19. Sold half my position, and then the other half down here whenever I saw that it was not going to break that level of $19. It failed, and it continued to go lower all the way down to 1656. So it's a good thing that I get out, because otherwise this stock from 1850 down to 1656, $2 per share loss. No thanks. So I trade the level 2. The level 2 was telling me to get out, capture the profit, and that's what I did. There's times that I might leave money on the table, but other times, most of the time, it saves me from pretty big losses. All right, guys, so that's it for today. If you have any questions over any of the trading, any suggestions, just let me know. Thank you.